Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016. I'm astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Check out spiritualdancemusic.com or here on YouTube. I'm live streaming. It is the Lunar Eclipse today, and I'm doing my live show, which I go into the Lunar Eclipse. I do live music. We pull cards. It is an awesome live free show. Check it out as well. And of course, if you want to get a reading from me, I've got new reading rates and new options at inclusiveastrology.com. But before we take a look at all the planets, let's take a look at the Leo King's planet energy meter to understand where all the energy is for your Wednesday. And I'm sending you lots of great energy. I am sending you lots of love and light. I'm hoping that you have an awesome, amazing, and spectacular, and wonderful, and amazing, awesome Lunar Eclipse Wednesday. What a way to hump through this one. And where do you think I'm putting the energy meter? I'm putting it at the extreme position. Whoop, 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 whoop. That is because it's a lunar eclipse. This is where literally the moon is going to be shadowed by the earth. And you know, this is a very powerful moment in our life because this is dealing with our emotions, which are in Libra, the sun, which has now reached into Aries, and this is dealing with tranquility, peace, relationships, and the things that have been blocking it, which are the things that we block in ourselves, I believe, because I think that this shadow is reflecting back from the sun our ego, our identity. Yes, it's ironic, too, to have Mercury conjunct the sun today. We have to understand how these emotions work, whether we like it or not. These emotions about how we feel off balance, how sometimes we're trying to weigh things out so much. This has been a very intellectual, weird time. The reason why, we got Jupiter squaring Saturn, both in intellectual mutable signs. I think that this is a very interesting time in our life, especially when you look at all this intellectual energy that is about this eclipse. This eclipse really is about how to better understand how you feel about your life and the blocks that have been blocking you from tranquility and what you need to become very clear about. You're going to see the disharmony that you have through your life because of the blocks that you put upon yourself, the things that you think that you should be, the things that you want to go after. You're going to have to understand that, okay, it's great to want certain things in your life, but there is certain ways to do it. There's a diplomatic solution to things. There's always a hand you got to shake. There is something that you need to weigh out. There is something that you need to stay in balance within, and this is all coming up right now. This is the final eclipse in Aries and Libra until the nodes shift back into the space in the next 8-9 years. So this is going to be a very powerful eclipse because this is releasing, I think, so much of all the Libra energy that we have gone through since 2009. So if you look back since 2009, wherever Libra falls in your chart and wherever this falls in your chart and whatever this falls in your sun sign, you should get the Leo King app because honestly, I talk about this. But this is where you are releasing all of your disharmonious aspects of your life for the final time. Ironic enough as well, Jupiter square Saturn. This is a time in our life where in order to expand, there's hard things to do. In order to do hard things, this is a time to be positive. So it's a very, wash energy. When you get the two biggest planets squaring off, it's almost like a wash. That this isn't a time of extreme positivity and this is not a time of extreme negativity. This is kind of a in the road, in the middle, and kind of like, and especially when you get a lunar eclipse in freaking Libra, you got to deal with that middle space. And here we are. This is Mars in Sagittarius, getting ready to go retrograde here. Saturn's retrograding and stationing literally in the next day and a half. So you got to really look at this Sagittarius energy and how it's connected to this eclipse. Mars sextiling the moon. Mars trining the sun. This lunar eclipse is all about the big new options we can take action with and identify with in our life and get out of, I think, a lot of barriers, get a lot out of blocks. But how far you jump, how far you go is going to determine how much of a I don't even know what the best word to say is, but the best word to say is how much of a tragic ending it could be or a beautiful ending. When you have Jupiter square Saturn in the exact degree at the exact minutes during a lunar eclipse, and we were talking we're 2 minutes off, it's exact. Especially dealing with ego and relationship, especially dealing with balance and, one way only. you got to see that this is a time in your life with this Mars in Sagittarius that is going to go through a retrograde and it's in a shadow period. This lunar eclipse is not only about removing the blocks, but understanding how your deep emotions that need to be released are. But deeper than that, it's about how big you're willing to jump and if you're going to overshoot or undershoot, and to find the perfect placement of what you're going for in your life coming forward for the next 6 months. Because let me tell you, this is a time where you can really go for what you want. But if you overshoot the moon, you're never coming back. But if you undershoot, you don't make it. What a weird thing to think about on a day like today, and where you're going in your life and the next journey that you're taking in your life as well. Especially watch those relationships. Venus in Pisces, which is in its best position, in exaltation, squaring this Jupiter-Saturn. So even when it comes to partnership and relationship, it's about to go through the node, it's about to go through Chiron. Relationships for the next week, and especially after this lunar eclipse, are going to come up more than you've ever seen in a long time. And whether or not you can find that middle perfect space, not be too hopeful, not be too negative about it, and find a way for it to become great and positive, yet at the same time, there's a lot of pressure, and I think a lot of really tough decisions you're going to have to make about it, and step up and speak up what you want out of a partnership and what you don't. Card of the day, oh man, is the 5 of Cups upright. This is all about focusing on the things that have not worked is over, and we have great things in our life. And it's time for us to really pay attention to what we have already that's great and move forward with that, instead of staring at the things that didn't work out. And this could be where something doesn't work out. This lunar eclipse is going to put an ending to something. And whether or not you're going to be sorrowful about it is one thing. It's one thing to cry at the funeral. It's another to cry about the funeral for 5 weeks, a month, 12 years. Like, at the end of the day, there are some other things in life to look at to get you out of this place of sorrow. Where today can you look out of, and where for the next 6 months can you look out of things that you don't like so much, when there are things right in front of you that are that are the most beautiful things in the world. Thanks so much for all the support. Please join me on the Leo King app. If you're not, guess why? Because you get these horoscopes every day. TheLeoKingApp.com. Check it also out on Apple and Android, The Leo King, in the stores. I appreciate all your support. Thanks so much. Check out a reading at InclusiveAstrology.com, and I will see you on the next horoscope.